A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms Episode 3 is significantly different from the first two, and I'll fill you in on how as we go along. This episode focuses on Egg's ambitions to be a squire, all while carrying his royal secret. Things heat up towards the end, and the stakes don't get much higher than this. Let's get into it. Remember how Dunk said,
"On the morrow, we will show them what his hand has wrought."
Well, that was all a big misunderstanding.
Wait, so I cannot enter the list today?
Only knights of high birth and renown.
It was a mistake.
Then why have I been vomiting all morning?
So instead, Egg uses this bonus episode to sneak off and whip Thunder's ass into shape. Of course, after being frozen in an iceberg for 100 years, Aang is way behind on his airbender training. And that's when he runs into
Sir Robin Wrisley, the maddest knight in the Seven Kingdoms.
What's wrong with your hair?
It's nothing to say.
You steal that horse. Tell the truth. We'll be fair.
Sure, Sir Robin refers to himself as we, but that doesn't mean he's the maddest knight in the Seven Kingdoms.
We are a vessel for the warrior. When it is madness bid, it is madness delivered.
That's completely mad, seems to me.
No, yeah, that's pretty up. I rest my case.
You're small.
Everybody knew it.
It is known.
I serve Sir Duncan the Tall.
We already knew.
It is known.
We've not heard of him.
You will.
Now, I'd love to tell you that Sir Robin is a fiction of Egg's imagination or that his madness stems from him secretly being a Targaryen or something, but I regret to inform you that the crazy pirate finding a child in the middle of the forest ends up going nowhere.
Do something!
Unlike everything else up until this point in the show, this scene is so lacking and contrived, it begs the question whether it was written by you, Ryan Condal.
I can smell a fraud from a mile away.
And because Egg ran off with Thunder, Dunk threatens him with violence.
You'll eat my fist if you don't do as you're told.
This is the sort of behavior Dunk would have learned in Flea Bottom, or from Sir Orlan, but deep down, Dunk is a sweetheart and chooses to be his own man.
Never mind that.
What are you doing, sir?
Sewing a patch.
Alright, so this is...
Start the damn joust before I piss myself.
Okay, Robert, I understand your frustration, but actually seeing people learn real skills from each other is a great way to appreciate their bond.
Piss on that.
No, think about it. Dunk was a squire himself up until just a few days ago, so this is a nice change of the guard, if you will, where he's getting used to being a knight, and Egg learns to be a squire, you know what I mean?
I want him dead. Is that plain enough for you?
I mean, that's a bit harsh, they're just sewing a patch.
I'll have your head on a spike!
It's funny you'd say that, though, because Egg actually sings a neat little song about putting heads on spikes.
Grass is red all over when you kill a rebel horse.
The song polarizes, glorifies, and trivializes the horrors of war, a reality that Egg, who is secretly a prince and openly a child, has never had to come anywhere near, whereas Dunk, once a child himself who grew up on the other end of Aegon's Hill, certainly has.
You were the brother I chose.
So everything is indicating that Dunk and Egg's bond is growing strong.
The dullest words of any house.
But the question is whether it can keep growing. There you go, there's your joust.
Yes, enough of the bloody pomp. Have at him.
So the first tilt of the tourney goes between two guys both named Humphrey. And the second is between Lord Ashford's son, Gwyn's brother Andro, and some uncoordinated knight from House Stokeworth. You know, the house Bronn was supposed to marry into before Jaime Lannister snapped him up for his Mission Impossible to Dorne.
I'm to wed Lolis Stokeworth.
She's dim-witted.
I'm going to give you a much better girl and a much better castle.
Resulting in a series of ever bigger and better castles all the way up until Bronn finds himself
Lord of High God and Lord Paramount of the Reach.
meaning all of Ashford and its neighboring domains are one day going to be subject to him.
A singularly bad idea.
What's wrong with that?
How could he let this happen?
Egg asks if he can stay on as Dunk's squire after the tournament, but that all hinges on, you know.
If I lose my first joust, I'll scarcely be a knight after the tournament.
But like a scent from above, an opportunity appears.
Duncan, a word if you please.
Remember Plumber, the master of the games? Right. And knowing Dunk's predicament, and by that I mean being poor, Plumber has a lucrative proposal involving Andro Ashford.
We're a challenger to come forth and unhorse Sir Andro against all odds. The lucky few who backed such an unlikely winner would find their pockets full.
Meaning he's trying to bribe Dunk into winning? Wait, aren't these things usually the other way around?
I'm a bit confused.
Why is he asking Dunk to win? I'm pretty sure he was already going to try and do that.
I ask only what you already intend.
Exactly.
I do not want a victory that I have not earned.
It's just that it's been thoroughly established that Dunk cannot afford to say no.
One loss, and I won't be able to ransom back my own horse.
And you have coin to pay such ransom.
Oh, God's no. If I win, I'll come back and buy you again. I promise. No turning back now, I suppose.
Plus, you can always win the following joust fair and square if honor is so important.
Honor?
Mind your pride, Sir Duncan.
Pride.
Yeah, pride. You know, like when you're the only YouTuber who hasn't been sent a preview of the entire season, so you can't write and drop heavily edited videos as fast as everyone else, but you keep trying anyway for the love of the game.
This is undignified, sir.
Screw you.
Must wound your pride. Now, standing out there like a glorified idiot.
Off. Enough of that.
Anyway, let's put a pin in that and see if this choice comes back to happen at all, or if this whole scene turns out to be another Ryan Condal masterclass.
You can smell the shit from 5 miles away.
Yeah, it's gonna take something big to turn this filler thriller around. Not that kind of big. Okay, no, but this is what I'm talking about. And if you look closely, you'll notice that Makar's chair is empty because he's off searching for his missing sons, Daron, who is probably drunk somewhere, and Aegon, who, ironically, is in the crowd. And if you look even closer, you'll see that Aerion is sporting his own sigil, a modified Targaryen dragon, orange instead of red, to match his Sigma nickname.
Prince Arian Bright Flame!
A renowned pillow biter.
The pretty ones are always temperamental.
So the way it works is that the challengers get to knock on somebody's shield to initiate a match. Higher seeded knights, and by that I mean
Knights of high birth and renown.
go on the first day, which is why Dunk isn't competing. Aerion looks like he's going to Valar, his
Cousin?
but challenges Sir Humphrey Harding instead,
Come out, little knight. It's time you face the dragon.
whom Egg encourages to kill Aerion.
Kill him! Kill him!
Egg really doesn't like his brother, and no wonder. Aerion would sometimes put a knife to his crotch and joke about cutting off his pee-pee to make him a sister, and in Targaryen fashion, marry him. I mean her. I mean, you know what I mean.
I'm not entirely sure what you're suggesting.
I'm entirely sure you're entirely sure what I'm suggesting.
But it's rather Aerion who kills Humphrey, or almost at least.
It's too long.
Low blow indeed. Humphrey's legs are crushed under his horse,
That was no mishap.
and now we riot. Oh, Baelor, if only everyone in your family were cool and perfect like you.
For their sake, I hope you live a long and happy life.
Oh, my sweet summer child.
All right, guys, we're gonna take it down a notch and play you a song about a beautiful girl called Alice.
Does this song secretly reflect Dunk's own story? Maybe not.
Perhaps it is a story of honor.
Oh yeah, like make the most of what you have sort of thing? Like when Lionel told Dunk to be tall? 7 hells, you're right, it is about Dunk.
Do you suppose there was an Alice, sir?
Who shoved her hand up men's arses?
I need help, Alice.
Alice Rivers volunteered her renowned skills. She plied her craft, but there was not more to be done.
Do you think her name was really Alice? I'm a barn owl.
Then Dunk snubs Plumber, who was expecting an answer to his bribe intrigue, and they meet this fortune teller lady who looks oddly familiar.
You shall know great success and be richer than a Lannister.
So maybe Dunk will take Plumber's offer after all. Then again, a minor lord's horse and armor hardly makes one richer than a Lannister.
Do the boy now.
You shall be king and die in hot fire, and all who know you shall rejoice in your dying.
Spoilers?
Why would she say that?
Yeah, who would do such a thing? The tragedy of Summer Hall, where many, including Egg himself, die. Oh yeah. Right, so this lady has magical foresight, kinda like Helena in House of the Dragon.
And you'll be dead. Swallowed up in the god's eye, never seen again.
But who is she, and why does she remind me so much of that innkeeper from episode 1? Aha! Because they're played by the same actress. Interesting.
Never you mind that, sir.
Now, this could mean one of two things. Number one, these ladies are the same person. Like Benjen Stark and Cold Hands turned out to be the same person. But if so, the question becomes, why is she in Ashford Meadow when she explicitly said she doesn't see the appeal of tournaments?
Half the town's gone down the tourney. Swear I couldn't tell you why.
So, unless being a mystery woman is like her thing, it's most likely number 2, that the production enjoyed working with the actor so much that she got to play multiple parts, like Dean Charles Chapman, who played both Martin Lannister and his own distant cousin, Tommen Baratheon. Or Kevin Eldon, who played one of the Gold Cloaks on the beach in King's Landing in Season 7, as well as Ned Stark. No, not that one, the one in Bravos. Or Jefferson Hall, who played Sir Hugh of the Vale and later Tyland and Jason Lannister in House of the Dragon.
Thank you, that's very good.
When Raymond Fossaway rolls up, Egg gets avoidant all of a sudden. Most likely he's met Raymond before and fears being recognized.
Will you join me in my tent for a cup of cider? We make it ourselves.
Fossaway. Probably the best brew.
Very good. Off you go.
Now, here's the thing. Raymond's cider may be strong, but his opinions on the Targaryens are stronger still.
They're incestuous aliens, Duncan.
Now, is that any way to speak about refugees, Raymond? Don't be so hard on them, bro.
Why is that hard?
Well, when Valyria was about to erupt in volcanic apocalypse, what choice did the Targaryens have but to flee to Westeros?
Blood magicers and tyrants who've burned our lands, with no respect for our history or our customs.
That's just multiculturalism, though.
Every pale-haired brat they saddled on us has been madder than the last. Gods know how.
Whoa. Let's not judge an entire people based on a few hundred years of incest. That's racist.
We got a bit carried away there.
To Raymond's point, though, the Targaryens are total tyrants. They conquered Westeros with dragons of mass destruction, melting castles like Harrenhal and burning thousands on the field of battle until every king and queen had bent the knee, and everything but Dorne was part of their domain.
While Aegon titled himself Lord of the Seven Kingdoms, he held only 6. The 7th, Dorne, had never knelt.
Even Dorne was brought into the fold eventually by none other than the current King Daeron II, though that was less due to threats of annihilation, obviously, since the dragons have all died at this point, and more due to marriage and treaty, as Daeron married the Dornish princess Miriam Martell, Baelor's and Maekar's mother. But this sort of power tends to lead to 1 or 2 obnoxious nepo babies being born, like Aerion and later Viserys. No, not that one, the Game of Thrones one.
Get your hands off me! No one touches the dragon.
And when this young dragon pops into Tancel's puppet show, he's not exactly pleased to see the dragon being slayed.
The dragon will never lose.
Next thing we know, Egg runs to fetch Dunk because...
Sir Duncan! Ariel's hurting her!
And Dunk, now in the habit of being his own man, is faced with a choice on very short notice. And makes it. This is Dunk living up to his knightly vows, if he ever took them.
To defend the weak and the innocent.
As he sees it anyway. Mr. Brightflame, on the other hand, certainly doesn't see it that way.
Why did you throw your life away for this? It's a traitor.
And so is Dunk for striking the king's blood. But just as justice is about to be dispensed, an unlikely hero steps up to save the day.
Let go of him. Wait, Yokel, do as I say.
What's happened to your hair?
I cut it off, brother.
Husband?
I didn't want to look like you.
Well. The secret comes out at last. But will Egg's benediction be enough to keep Dunk's teeth in his mouth? What will Maekar say when he finds out his son has gone rogue and bold and squire for a hedge knight? Will Dunk retain his slot in the list now that he's drawn the blood of the dragon? Did he save the Tancel in distress, or will things only worsen from here? Will Robin Riesling find a horse to ride in the tourney? And can Dunk and Egg's relationship ever be the same? This, perhaps, and more, next week on A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms.